Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to the Movie Library. Now, tonight we are talking about a company that you heard me talk about a lot, especially in 2017, and that is Vinegar Syndrome. Why are we talking about Vinegar Syndrome tonight? Well, for a couple of reasons, but for the main reason is that Vinegar Syndrome had a surprise kind of flash sale, a spring sale. Now, Vinegar Syndrome has a halfway to Black Friday sale coming up. Now, I may not be able to participate in that sale. That is one of my favorite sales of the year. And the fact that I didn't think I was going to be able to participate in this year kind of was a bit of a bummer, but it's for a good reason. I'll let you guys know about that as I find out more details down the road. But they're having their spring sale. Now, that did come at the most opportune time for me because Saturday is my birthday. And although my better half had all my presents for me, basically, I had a little bit of money saved away that I had planned to use at a flea market, and my mom came in tonight and she dropped off my birthday card with some cash in it. And with that and a little bit of help from my better half, who gave me a little bit of extra birthday money this year, I was able to dive in and get a couple of the Vinegar Syndrome titles that I wanted. Some from the spring sale and a couple from outside of that sale. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you guys. We're going to talk about the spring sale, what exactly it is, what's going on, how the prices are, how the shipping works for the Vinegar Syndrome website. One that I think everybody should have that falls outside of the range of the sale, and just a little bit more tonight in the Movie Library. All right, so I got it up here right now. We're going to go right into this. And as I see ones that I got, actually I got to put to the side, and I'll show you after I go through the ones that I've actually already gotten, to give you kind of an idea of what they're like, and see if there's something that you might actually be interested in. The first one up here is a double feature called Seeds and Vapors by Andy Milligan. I'll be honest in saying I don't know a lot about that film. I'd say look into it if that's something that you're interested in. It didn't catch my eye this time. Maybe down the road. I don't know. I don't know a lot about the Andy Milligan film library. That's one of the kind of like the underground film makers that I'm not really strongly familiar with, so I'm not going to even pretend that I am. Next up is Corpse Grinders, a classic Ted V. Michaels film. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of really cheesy. Basically, there's these guys and they're they're killing people and grinding them up, and it's not like Silent Green. Silent Green is people. Spoiler alert. But in this one here, people is cat food, and it has a adverse effect on the cats once they start to eat the flesh of humans. It's really out there, really crazy film. Do I have this one? You guys should know the answer to this one by now if you watch my channel. If not, you're gonna know soon enough. Next up is the double feature of for Roberta Findlay. That's Primeval and The Lurkers. I've actually talked about this one on my channel a couple times as well. Again, I really like this double feature, Primeval especially. Both films are fun, but again, a really good one. They got one limited edition here, and that is Trip the Teacher. I wish I would have got this one actually. This one actually has, if you're, Red Shoe Diaries and films like that were done by a guy named Zalman King. Well, Zalman King was an actor too, and he does his best David Hess impression in Trip the Teacher actually. It's one that I wish I could have gotten, but I wasn't able to pick it up this time around. Joe Sarno is a director that I really like, and I don't have. I saw a few of his on less legitimate copies years ago. Things like Butterflies and films like that I really, really enjoyed. Butterflies, I think, had Harry Reams. Harry Reams is actually one of my favorite actors that acts in adult films, because I think he actually is one of those guys, much like Herschel Savage and John Leslie, that can actually act, that can actually kind of push it through. And if they really wanted to, probably could have been fairly successful mainstream actors. Maybe not, top tier actors, but definitely character actors, especially Reams. Reams just has a real style about him that I really enjoy. And he was in the movie. It's not in this movie. I just said this is kind of a tangent. He was in a movie called Butterflies, which I really liked, and that's also by this director here, and that's Red Roses of Passion, limited edition. It was the first in the new, the new sexploitation kind of sub-label that Vinegar Syndrome is doing. Both Seeds and Vapors, I think, is actually a part of that, and Red Rose of Passion. That's a black and white film. Sarno shoots. This is a softcore film. Now Sarno has done a lot of hardcore stuff, and the movie that I just spoke about, Butterflies, actually is more of a hardcore film, but it does have a decent story to it. Sarno is somebody that I'm gonna be totally honest and say he shoots erotic scenes very, very well. He's really adept, not just with the camera, but it comes across more real. And when I get into I'm gonna do a video thing that more of along with the regular stuff. Every once in a while, I'm going to review more, especially when I want to get to more of the adult films in a tasteful manner, as befits my channel. And when those type of videos come up, I'll let you know ahead of time, so that if you've got children or something like that and you don't want to watch that video with the kiddies around, even though there's not going to be any nudity or anything like that, or any really explicit language or talk, it's only the right thing to do. When most of my channel is kind of mostly towards I wouldn't say family friendly, but in some ways maybe it's kind of more family friendly content when it comes to certain things. But I do talk about Vinegar Syndrome. I do talk about some adult films every once in a while, and I just like to give a heads up, because it's not everybody's thing. But Red Rose of Passion, again, a really cool film. Matinee Auto I saw years ago. This is an adult film. I don't remember that well. Kay Parker's in it. Kay Parker's probably most famous for doing the first, and I think she's in the second for a little bit, Taboo film. If you've ever seen the Taboo series, some of you that seen it have pretended that they haven't. So it's a classic adult film series that back when adult films had stories and they were not just scene after scene. There was a time when adult cinema was a thing, when it was actually cinema, and they did the stories so well that they would often shoot R-rated versions and X-rated versions of the film, and in some cases there'd be actors like Reggie Nelder, Cameron Mitchell, a lot of bigger actors would actually show up. Aldo Ray in some of these films. A lot of times they didn't know that they were making an adult film, because they'd make a film that had a really good story, and then adult sequences would be filmed when they were not around, and that way it could play in the adult cinema houses, and it could play regular cinema as well. So if a lot of times when it went to video, the R-rated version would show up, and you'd see that. And sometimes, as in the case of a movie called Dracula Sucks with Jamie Gillis, one of the best actors of that era, who can actually run from really, really dark to a very David Hess style of acting to really, really comedic. So he definitely has range. Sometimes when you're a kid like me, you'd end up going and you rent a movie, and it would supposedly be the R-rated version of the film, unaware that there would be any other version of the film, and you'd end up with an X-rated film. That happened to me on more than one occasion, to be honest with you. So Matinee Auto, S.K. Parker, but again, I do not remember that well. A Touch of Genie, that's Sarno as well, actually. And it's the closest thing to an adult version of a Woody Allen film you're ever going to see. Basically, you got this kind of nebbish, kind of nerdy character, and he's geeky. He's got an overbearing mom type of thing, and he finds a bottle with a genie in it, and it leads to some kind of some kind of humorous, kind of cool little things there. So if you ever wonder what would be if Woody Allen made an adult film, this is exactly what it would be. A Touch of Genie is definitely that. They use some of the actors too, and I think maybe Harry Reams is in that one as well. Yeah, he is. Mark Stevens is in it. If you know the names for those from the classic, what I call the golden age erotica of a film, that's definitely some of the names that you know. Tina Russell. Nurse Sherry is a exploitation film by Al Adamson. This is kind of a horror film. It was a combination of the Roger Corman Nurses series of films that came out, Student Nurses and all those things that came out back in the day, along with a horror film. They said it was kind of inspired by Carrie, but I could see it being more inspired by maybe The Exorcist or Patrick or something like that, because Carrie didn't have somebody getting possessed, and this is a possession movie. A guy dies and he possesses the body of Nurse Sherry, and it's super crazy, a little gory, kind of fun. It's definitely on my list. Next up is Never Sleep Alone, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about that film. That's the first one in the DVD section that they got here. No, I'll signify when it's the DVD. If I don't say anything, then it's a Blu-ray. Just assume it's a Blu-ray. A lot of these are Blu-ray DVD combo packs anyway. But if it's just DVD, I'll let you know that. Next up is The Hearse. Again, a fantastic film. Now, this was a film that had a limited theatrical release, but it's more known. It was on TV. It was like one of those kind of like creepy TV movies from back in the day. It did have, I know it's got a release somewhere theatrically, but most people know it as a TV horror film. It's a very good film, actually, and it's got a nice slow burn to it. There's a couple good scenes that really kind of, not really just jump scares, but like good scares, and they build to them, and I really like when they do that, when they build to it. The Hearse has a fantastic cover. Definitely one to pick up. There was once upon a time a limited edition slipcover of that film, and I really sad that I missed out on that, but even so, the Hearse is a gorgeous cover. Next up is Malibu High. Malibu High looks like a teen sexploitation comedy. Looks like a Fast Times at Ridgemont High, joysticks, loose screws type of comedy. But it's not actually. Does it have some aspects of it in there? Yes, it's probably the most misleading cover you're going to see. Does that mean it's a bad film? No, just the opposite. Malibu High is one that I really liked. And it's one that I was excited to see get like a Blu-ray release. Vinegar Syndrome always does fantastic jobs with their transfers. They do the best jobs possible. And other companies like Synapse, when they were doing like stuff like Civil War, went to Vinegar Syndrome to get help with some stuff, and just some great stuff. Malibu High, again, fantastic little film. Witch Trap, not a sequel to Witchboard. Just got to put that out there because I'm not joking. Actually, when I rented Witch Trap back in the day, it actually says on it, not a sequel to Witchboard, which I'm assuming is probably going to still be in here as well. It's a film by Kevin Tenney, who actually did write and directed Witchboard. It's a really good film. Linnea Quigley has a part in this film. It's a cool little horror film. I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's one that I would love to like just dive into again. Next up is Slaughterhouse. Now, Slaughterhouse is a little like slasher film. Kind of cheesy, not for everybody, but I did enjoy it. Now, I have the 88 Films edition of Slaughterhouse. That being said, Vinegar Syndrome topped the 88 Films in Slaughterhouse. I love 88 Films. They're a fantastic company, but Vinegar Syndrome did a much better job with Slaughterhouse than 88 Films did, and that's one that down the road. I really got to watch Slaughterhouse again with my 88 Films release, and just see how I dig it. See if I really want to upgrade to the Vinegar Syndrome as well, because I got to keep my 88 Films because it's part of the Slasher Classics collection. I OCD like that. Next up is Taboo 4. Now, the Taboo series, as I mentioned before, started with Kay Parker, and it's an adult film. And it has a unique storyline. So I'm not going to go into what it's about, but let's just say it's not for everybody. Now, Taboo 1 and 2 kind of followed a story. It does have kind of almost a soap opera-esque story to these films. Now, Taboo 4 was kind of getting into the next generation of the series. This was the series that would go on and on. But Taboo 4 would be the last one that would get a theatrical release. After that, they'd be straight to video, and the quality, in my opinion, would decline, and it would just become more of a just an adult like sex type of thing, as opposed to something that has a really decent and good story. And I think Taboo 4 is probably the last one to really do that. Again, famous adult actress that has moved over a lot into mainstream stuff. You saw movies like Devil's Rejects and stuff like that. Then you're probably familiar with Ginger Lynn. She is again, like one of the stars of Taboo 4. She has a commentary on here as well as an interview, and she's seen the movie apparently in the commentary for the very first time, and she is kind of like shocked at some of the stuff that's in the film. She's forgotten, I guess. Next up is a film that's not an adult film, but a lot of people thought that it was, and that is Blue Money. Actually, it's a film about the adult industry. It's about like there's this guy, and he's a director. He's kind of the John Cassavetes of the adult movie industry. He's trying to like make this one big film so that him and his wife can pretty much like get out of it, get out of the industry, and just retire, basically, type of thing. A lot of stuff happens, goes down, and it's dramatic. Some tragedy happens within the film, and it's really worth checking out. It's a good little drama. It's a excellent little film. I did really enjoy it. I did find that the guy that the director, also the accent, I think his name is Alan Patrick. There's certain scenes when he had like just the accent kind of reminded me of like and not because of the acting or something like that. For God's sake, something like that, like a Tommy Wiseau type of thing. They look like just a couple scenes. I do not have that one either. Hangs Upon Nothing is a documentary. It's surfing. I don't know very much about that one. I haven't seen it, but that's as far as I remember. Like from what I heard about it, that's like a surfing documentary. So that makes sense. Hangs Upon Nothing, right? Death Machines is one of their action exploitation films. Not a lot of features on that one there. Again, just look it up. I really can't describe this one. It's kind of crazy. Hobgoblins. Most people know Hobgoblins, kind of like in the way you know Troll 2 and films like that. Hobgoblins is one of those really crazy out there, so bad it's good type of films. You can't describe, it's hard to describe Hobgoblins. Just, there's a guy, and he's a security guard, and he works with another security guard, and they're taking care of this place, and hobgoblins escape, and wackiness ensues, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And there's a guy that's like, kind of like an army guy. I know it's jumbled. It's a jumbled mess, but it's a fun jumbled mess. Hobgoblins is actually a really cool film. Death Row Game Show is one that's a very kind of a cheesy, fun, low budget one. Actually, the year that one came out, another movie came out about like people that are on death row, like in a game show, and that one started on a Schwarzenegger. So figure out what that other one is. It could be anything, you know. It could be Conan. Next up is Nightmare Sisters. Nightmare Sisters is a classic. If you're a fan of like the 80s Scream Queens, Nightmare Sisters is something that has to be in your collection. It has Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, and of course Linnea Quigley. Three of the premier 80s, 90s Scream Queens. Brink Stevens, I think the first thing that I ever saw her in was probably, I think she was in a Some Party Massacre. She's actually might be one of the first people that dies, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's the one that gets killed in the school at the beginning of Some Party Massacre. Speaking of Linnea Quigley, there's a double feature here, and that is Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace. Two kind of cool films. I really gotta say, whoa! I really enjoyed both of these films. Now, they're pretty cheesy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure which one. Murder and Embrace, one of them I found really, really kind of fun and cool. Just like it ended so abruptly. Had a dark ending too. And the other one was just so super cheesy, you had to see it. You just had to see it. Next up is Count Dracula's Great Love, a fantastic Paul Naschy film. Paul Naschy, as far as I know, this is really the only one where he's played the Count Dracula. He may have like played somebody dressed as Count Dracula, but in this one he's actually kind of playing the Count Dracula role. He's playing the vampire role. He's a smaller guy, but he's kind of like short, but kind of like bulky and heavy set. Not heavy set, but kind of like muscular, kind of barrel-chested type of guy, which makes her a different Dracula. But I did like him, and I do like this film. Next up is an adult film called China Silk, which is kind of a detective film rolled into an adult film type of thing. Back again, like I said, when they deal with a lot of the erotica stuff, they're not dealing with stuff like you see now. They're not dealing with stuff you're going to see on like one of those porn or adult-oriented websites. They're actually dealing with really good quality films that actually have stories to them. Next up is Psychic Killer. Psychic Killer I haven't seen since I was a kid. I remember renting this one on, I think it's on VHS, but it may have been on CED, actually. It's that long ago since I've seen it. I really did like it back in the day. It's one that I'll talk to you a little bit more on like my order or what I decided in a minute. Trashy Lady with Ginger Lynn. Again, it's a classic Ginger Lynn film. Again, this is an adult film. But it's a good one. It's a kind of like a gangster style one. It's set back in the 1920s. It is a period piece. I'm not joking about that. It really is. Harry Reams, like I mentioned, is in the film. He's a gangster. Ginger Lynn really takes the lead in this film here, and she does a great job. a lady that has to learn kind of like I guess, it's been a long time since I've seen this film, but you know Pygmalion? But imagine if she had to learn to be like from a lady to like not so like a trashy lady to like to learn how to swear and stuff like that. If it's the film I'm thinking of, that's kind of the plot to the way that it works. Next up is one called Infrasexum. It's an adult film, I'm pretty sure. Do I know anything about it? No, so I'm not even going to go there. The Bees is one that I really, really like. If you don't have The Bees, it's a cool movie. That's actually, is that Deadly Bees, the Amicus one, right? But this one I'm pretty sure has John Saxon. And I've talked about this one on before. I actually think I've done a review of The Bees, and it's one that I enjoyed tremendously. Next up is one called Sex and Astrology. I don't know anything about it. Adult film. Definitely worth checking out, I guess. Catch My Soul is a musical version of Othello. Yep, Othello, Iago, getting all music on you. I kid you not. That's kind of a thing. Next up is the double feature. Now this is okay. Now, before I go any further, Infrasexum, that's DVD only. Sex and Astrology is DVD only. And coming up next is The Executioner Part 2 and Frozen Scream. That's the DVD one. It's actually part of their drive-in collection. They have a series of drive-in double features, and they have adult double features that they call Peakoramas, which are usually double or triple features. Now, when the drive-in collection started, they also did some of the adult stuff before Peakorama got its own label. So if I know that it's an adult film, I'll kind of like shout it out as being sold so that you know ahead of time. Now, Executioner 2 and Frozen Scream. Frozen Scream's kind of like a, God, it's been a while, zombie-ish type of film. I kind of, it's hard to remember. Now, The Executioner 2, I do remember because it's not a sequel to The Executioner, and the cover makes it look like it's kind of a sequel or something to The Exterminator, the Robert Ginty film. It's not that either. Chris Mitchum is in The Executioner 2. Been a long time since I've seen it. I really can't give you a lot on it. I did enjoy it back in the day. Next up is Frightmare. Actually, I kind of like that one. That's the one with the horror host, the horror like star that dies and comes back from the dead. Next up is a documentary called The American Dreamer with Dennis Hopper. I think what the director said later on, said it's not really a documentary. Dennis Hopper's like just playing a character type of thing. Seeing it what you will, but it's actually kind of a cool little thing. Next up is a DVD again, and it's On Her Bed of Roses and the Incredible Sex Revolution. Probably a softcore one in the drive-in collection. I don't think it's like actually hardcore. Yeah, look into that one. Flesh and Bullets. That one's actually recently done on their Vinegar Syndrome 5 films 5 years. I'll explain that in a little bit. That's the DVD as well. Then the DVD Little Miss Innocence and Teenage Seductress. And that again, that's not. It sounds like an adult film, but it's not. But I'd say it's probably harder on the softcore side. But it's not. It's not a hardcore. It's not an X-rated film or anything like that. Neither one of them are. Next up is one that I do recommend. Don't Go in the Woods Alone. I like that film. It's really fun, really cheesy, really bad. But no going in that's bad, and you'll have a blast with the film. Next up is another DVD called Champagne for Breakfast. That is an adult one. Then there's the adult double feature, which is a DVD for Peakorama, and that is Fantastic Orgy and Champagne Orgy. I guess an extra champagne one there for you guys. Again, I don't know a lot about those films, so I can't really talk about them. Raw Force is a really good, crazy film. If you love really like out there films, Raw Force is one that belongs in your collection because it has a little bit of everything into it. You got kung fu, you got zombies, you got a bit of exploitation. It's just a really fun film. This is not an adult film at all, by the way. It's got Cameron Mitchell. Next up is another DVD one, and this one is a double feature. It's part of the Peakorama series, and that is Deep Tank, One Young Secretaries. Next up is a one with Gorilla on the Loose called Jungle Blue. Then next there's an adult film, Marilyn Monroe one, Marilyn and the Senator, and that's DVD. These are all DVD here. So the next one's called Wakefield Pole's Bible. I've never seen that film, so I can't tell you. It looks like an adult film. Next up is another DVD, and this one isn't actually. The Candidate and Johnny Gunman, and that has Mamie Van Doren, June Wilkinson, Ted Knight is in there as well. It's a double feature. Driving Collection one. Next up, another DVD is The First Time an Oriental Babysitter. Sounds adult. I don't think it is, but I wouldn't be too sure. Game Show Models. That one probably is adult. Night Train to Terror. If you don't have that one, in your collection, that is definitely something that I would recommend you pick up. It's a really, really cool one. Actually has an extra feature on there. We'll talk about that one a little bit more as well. Then it comes to The Sexualist, the Wendy's Palace, and that is that's the Driving Classic collection. That's a DVD, and I think it's adult. This one's not. This one's it's quirky, different. It's a black and white one called The Telephone Book about this girl that kind of falls in love with the world's best obscene phone caller. You think that's an adult film. It's not, but it's different. And last but not least is Massage Parlor Murders. That's, again, another one that I did enjoy. Is that a great film? No, but one thing I really did enjoy about Massage Parlor Murders is you just get that time in New York that no longer exists. It's a snapshot to that. I'm going to show you the ones that in this spring sale that I got, and I'm also going to talk to you guys about about my order and the ones that I picked up that weren't on the spring sale that I just knew I needed to have. So we're going to move over to my chair in the movie library so I can sit down for a spell and talk about that. And guys, it's a great night here in the movie library. We're talking Vinegar Syndrome, and as you guys know, that's one of my specialties. Whew, all right, so I got a bunch of the Vinegar Syndrome titles here, ones that are on the sale that I can show you guys so you can actually see what these are like. And I'm going to do them in no particular order, but kind of give an idea about a little bit more about the film. So this here is Count Dracula's Great Love. This is the Paul Naschy one that I mentioned to you. And just so you guys know the features on this, we had a commentary with the director and lead actor Paul Naschy. Of course, he's passed away now. If you're a fan of Scream Factory, you've probably seen the Paul Naschy collections, Volume 1 and 2 together there. There's a new video interview with the actress Myrta Miller. Includes both the English dub and the original Spanish language soundtrack with English subtitles if you prefer that. There's the international theatrical trailer. There's an 8-page booklet in here, English and Spanish subtitles, of course, like I mentioned before, and there's reversible cover art. So it's a good thing there's actually subtitles on the film, not just because it's like because it's a foreign film, but it's also great for like anybody out there that may be hard of hearing that wants to watch this film as well. So here's the front cover. I'm just to make sure there's nothing on the back that you can't see, and you can see like Paul Naschy as a vampire right there. If you wanted to like stop and see the features yourself, or like just pause that, you can do that right there now. And here is the booklet for the movie. There's the back right there. I'll show you guys. That's both the Blu-ray and DVD, because this is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. And let you guys see the alternate artwork, which is actually really good. And I might think of actually switching it over. I like this film, actually. I watched this one a couple times. First time, I'll be honest with you, it took me a while to get into it, because it had been a while since I'd seen a Paul Naschy film. You're a cute little kitty cat. And it's a style. So definitely a good film, though. I really, really enjoyed this film. Next up is one of the double features. This is Roberta Findlay. I'm a really big Roberta Findlay fan, and if anything made me a Roberta Findlay fan, it's one that I got over there. What is it called again now? Woman's Torment. I really like that film. That wasn't on the sale, but that is an adult film, but it is a really good, like story-wise. I just really like the way that was structured. But these aren't. These are like these are some of her horror releases, and they're definitely horror films. And that is Primeval and Lurkers. Now, I like Primeval more than I like Lurkers. And again, there are some features on here. So Primeval actually gets a commentary track from Roberta Findlay. If you're a big fan of like Twilight time type of stuff, so you get isolated scores for both isolated soundtrack for Primeval and isolated soundtrack for Lurkers. There's theatrical trailers for both the films. There's a teaser trailer for Lurkers. These are newly scanned, restored in 2K from the original 35mm camera negative. And in case I forgot to mention it, on here, these here are also scanned and restored in 2K as well from the 35. I got a cat here demanding attention. Next up is another double feature, one that I do recommend as well, and that is Murder, Weapon, and Deadly Embrace. Now, I got to check the Primeval, see if that one has like a alternate artwork. Yeah, actually it does. Yeah, so let me show you the guys that. So Primeval Lurkers does have an alternate artwork. So there's this one right here, and there's this right here, so you guys can see that as well. Again, it's a DVD Blu-ray combo pack, and as we're going through, most of these here, I'm pretty sure almost all these here that I got are region free. So if you are over in the UK and you want to get one of their films there, that's not a problem. This one here also is region free as well. Again, Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace, and we get like features on here. We got a commentary track with director David Cotto and actress Linnea Quigley on both of these films. The director's introduction for both films, a video trailer for Murder Embrace, outtakes for Deadly Embrace. Murder Weapon is kind of the insanely crazy one, where two women, they get out of prison, they invite all their ex-boyfriends over. It's really kind of a crazy film, and people are getting killed by a mysterious killer, not really hard to figure out. Deadly Embrace is kind of remind me of something you see like on a Cinemax type of deal. Back in the day, like a Tame McClure type of thing, just not as well handled as some of those. Dakota does some great work. This isn't some of his most high budgeted work, and the corners are cut, and you can tell corners are cut. But that being said, they really are still two fantastic little films. There's no alternate artwork in here, just like a kind of background art, and that's the Blu-ray and DVD on here as well. Next up is one that I do recommend if you're the sale is still on when you see this video. If you don't have this one, get it. Night Train to Terror. It's an anthology film. It's really cheesy, really out there, really different, and it seems like truncated or kind of insane at sometimes, and that's because a lot of these were actually films that had been made and they've been cut down or money had ran out, and this is what was done, and they made it into an anthology. Actually, one of the films here, and I think it's Greta actually. Yeah, Greta I think is the actual bonus on DVD only. There's Greta is like is a bonus DVD here. So Night Train to Terror. This is one of their blue cases. They didn't do a lot of blue case releases. They went to thankfully they went to the clear cases, which you see there most of the time. And again, I've seen this film so many times on so many different labels and like kind of really, really bad quality. But again, this one here is a great restored 2K edition of the film, ripped from its original 35mm negative. I do recommend it. Night Train to Terror. It is a really, really fun film. Next up is Massage Parlor Murders. My cat is going nuts down here. Yeah, love you. I do. And it's a unique film. There's a bunch of nudity in it. Not an adult film in any stretch of the imagination. Although Chris Jordan is in it, and Chris Jordan actually has done a few like adult films. I'm pretty sure Chris Jordan may have been in Touch of Genie, and I know she was in Deep Throat too. Actually, it mentions it on here, but I've seen that movie anyway. It's a little snapshot of like 70s New York in kind of the downtown district. So you want to see 70s like Times Square, like you want to see that area of New York back in the day in its heyday. In my opinion, definitely get this film just for that alone. Really, it's a nice snapshot that way. And you open it up here. It is I think this is a Blu-ray DVD. Again, yeah, it's another Blu-ray DVD combo pack. It has a booklet here, and it has this little neat thing as well on the inside, which is I'm not sure if it's like a call thing, like a reeler type like sheet. Show you. It's a neat little addition to it. Again, I do recommend it. It's a fun film. Don't go in, expecting like all common sense with some of these films. Demonite is one I enjoyed. Now, it's not my favorite film out of all the ones that are here. I think this one was mentioned there. I wasn't sure if it was. I know Frightmare is. I don't think this one was even mentioned on that sale. Look, there's Demonite anyway. I don't think this was mentioned on the sale. So we are not going to pay any attention to this. This is not the film you're looking for. Next up is one that I do know is on the sale, and that is Frightmare. Again, this is by the guy that I'm sure. What did he do? Did he do Demonite? Is it the same guy? No. Okay, so we got like a video interview with cinematographer Joel King. There's an archival audio interview with director Norman Thaddeus Vane. There's a historical commentary track with David Duvall and David Cotto. A commentary track by Hysterica Continues. Hysterica Continues, that's a popular podcast. If you haven't checked them out, they definitely are worth checking out. Frightmare, again, and it does have the DVD Blu-ray combo pack. And yes, there is a kind of a cool little like alternate artwork there. There's a lot of stuff here. You are adorable, kitty cat. Next up is again that's Frightmare is one of the ones you see there, the blue cases. Those are like the early editions of like Vinegar Syndrome before you start going with these snazzy white cases. This is Bees, and this one Alfredo Zacharias. He did Demon Knight actually. That's where I got confused. So the Bees is really cool. Again, we got like John Saxon in here. I think John Carradine. Is it John Carradine? I'm pretty sure John Carradine's in this movie as well. Video interview with the director, Alfredo Zacharias. Original theatrical trailer. Not a lot of features on here. But yeah, John Saxon, John Carradine. Angel Tompkins in it as well. And really, really did enjoy this one. And yes, there is a very cool, I like this kind of cover. So right on. But Bees, yeah, I really enjoyed this. If you haven't seen it, it's one, in my opinion, one of the better like killer bee movies out there. It actually has an ecological like story like to it. And definitely worth picking up. Definitely worth picking up. No doubt about it. You like crazy films, you're gonna love Raw Force. Let me see if I can. There's the description. Normally, I'm not big on reading the backs, but I'll do it on some. But for this one here, it kind of deserves it. So, welcome to Warriors Island, burial ground of disgraced martial arts masters. When the Burbank Kung Fu Club travels to the mysterious island, they quickly find themselves facing the bloodthirsty vengeance of flesh-ripping kung fu fighting zombies, gun-toting white slave traders, and a band of strange monks who may be the only key to explaining the madness. Edward Murphy's Raw Force is a virtual smorgasbord of over-the-top sleaze, mixing zombies, cannibals, outrageous action, gore, copious amounts of nudity, starring exploitation greats Cameron Mitchell and Vic Diaz. Vinegar Syndrome presents this quintessential piece of early 80s sleaze, newly restored from the original camera negative and on Blu-ray for the very first time. Again, it's a 2K restoration here. Destination Warriors Island featurette with director Ed Murphy and cinematographer Frank Johnson. There's an audio interview with finishing editor Jim Wynorski, who would go on to make many, many great exploitation films himself, and even have a documentary done about him. And last but not least is the one other. I'm not sure if the version that they have still has the limited edition slip. It should stay on there. But I had to get this one. Now, this one here is really, really kind of cool. It's really fun. And that's Ted V. Michaels, The Corpse Grinders. And I did tell you like pretty much the plot of this one already. So what does it have on it? We got some decent features. We've got an audio commentary by filmmaker Elijah Drenner, who did American Grinders, featuring rare archival audio recordings from the private files of Ted V. Michaels and vintage drive-in theater announcements from the Final Dimensions and Shock. TED Talks, an archival interview with Ted V. Michaels from 2007. Still gallery, reversible cover. Again, it's 2K restored from the original 16mm negative. Film will never look any better than it does right here. No, without a doubt. And is there like an alternate artwork? Yes, there is, because they're Vinegar Syndrome and they're very nice to us that way. Looks very similar. Oh, there it is. Corpse Grinders, again, another fun little film. I'm just going to put these back here now. Give my cat a little pet because he really, really wants one. I'll be right back and I'll tell you what I ordered from the site. I might have ordered from the sale. I might order from the site that's not in that sale. I'll be right back. Alright, so I had a little bit of birthday money, and I decided that for the last bit of my birthday, because I'm getting mostly Hammer and Amicus stuff, as you guys know, I'd give myself like a little exploitation treat, because you guys know I'm a really, really big exploitation fan. So that being said, I made a small Vinegar Syndrome order, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the ones that I picked up and the reasons that I chose them. One of these, or two of these here, really are going to be a little bit more in depth to talk about. So I grabbed up Hobgoblins. I mentioned that one. It's kind of one of those so bad it's good movies. As you guys know, I own Troll and Troll 2 with the Best Worst movie from Scream Factory. I've got the Ghoulies as well here, and I got Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2 as well. And Troll and Troll 2 were ones that I need to have. I really do need to pick up Critters trilogy down the road as well. That is another series that I really enjoy. Also, I grabbed Malibu High. I kind of mentioned that one as I was going through, saying it was one of those films that defies description and looks and is nothing like the cover that you see in it. It's got a great cover too, by the way, but it is just an insane film. Now, when I went to get like Hobgoblins, I was going in between Hobgoblins and and Psychic Killer. Psychic Killer is one from my past. It's one I remember from my childhood. I remember liking it back in the day. Hobgoblins, though, feels that become one of those like kind of so bad it's good type of spaces that I really wanted to complete here in my collection. Next up, I grabbed Nightmare Sisters. I'm a Eugenia Quigley fan. That was one that, like I mentioned, it belongs in everybody that really loves Scream Queens. It's a horror comedy, and it's a low budget film, but they do a great job. These guys, they got some chops. They can actually do some decent acting, and sure, some cheesy stuff, some cheesy lines, but they pulled off better than like most people could under those circumstances. And I did pick up Trashy Lady with Ginger Lynn. Now, I do collect some of the Golden Age erotica stuff, and I would fight and debate the merits of some of that film and their place in history. And this is one of the ones that in cinematic history that I definitely was interested in seeing. It does come with a second film. Don't know much about the second film. I think it's called Go West or something like that. Kind of a western, like an adult western film. Probably runs around like 60. Usually those run like 60-something minutes, 60 to 70 minutes. I'm thinking in the 60-minute range. There's a couple commentaries. One is a first-time commentary from the director of photography on here. So that kind of interests me as well, because it's really interesting to get a commentary on films like these, because he can actually talk about like a lot of the stuff and the struggles that they went through back in the day when making these films. It wasn't so readily, you weren't so readily able to make a lot of these movies, and there was a lot of like struggle and adversity towards them. Now I did pick up two more, but what are those two? They kind of go together. They're a limited edition set, and if you've been following Vinegar Syndrome, you might have these already. It's something that I really wanted to pick up. Now, originally, I didn't pick them up because it didn't have features. But after a while, I knew I had to have them. Vinegar Syndrome has been around for 5 years. And what they did to celebrate their 5-year anniversary was they put out 2 limited edition, 2,500 each, sets, Blu-ray sets. There are some movies, both exploitation and erotica, that were put out originally on DVD. Now, some of these here films were put out on DVD under limited. One of them actually had, I think, had 500 copies that came out, and that was a limited edition. That was gone. That was it. That's out of print. But in these here sets, they're on Blu-ray for the very first time. Now, each set has 5 films. That's on 2 Blu-rays, 3 films on one, 2 films on the other. It's kind of like a 5 films, 5 years set. They choose some what I consider to be some really good films, some really harder to find films. I'll actually go one farther and say Volume 1, which is the Golden Age of Erotica one, actually probably has the better storylines and maybe some better acting than in the second volume. But that doesn't mean that the second volume isn't worth owning. And I'm a guy that I'm kind of an OCD type collector, where basically I could not buy just the erotica volume. I needed the exploitation one as well, and that has some good films on there. So this is what the case looks like, right there. And on the back, there's like a picture of the different films. So I'll list the films out here for you right now, as I get back to. And some of the films, like the plots, are better. I'll give you like a short synopsis, as they say right here. So, Too Naughty to Say No. Actually, it's a decent one. Suze Victor of Nye's colorful new wave updating of the works of the Marquis de Sade chronicles the exploits of 2 beautiful Catholic schoolgirls who find themselves whisked off into a world of perverse sexual delights. Angels in this one, Ginger Lynn, Bunny Blue is a very famous actress, Harry Reams, and Eric Edwards, who a lot of people that know these type of films will know him for a lot of stuff that he does. Now, because this is a limited edition, it was strictly enforced that only 1 copy per person for each of these sets. Next up was Hot and Spicy Pizza Girls. Bob Chin is a director of adult films that is known for making some really, really good films especially he did a lot of the comedic stuff. He did some really good stuff with the comedic stuff as well. And I mean, like, actually funny. Like, if you like the teen sexploitation type of stuff, Bob Chin could actually make an adult film that just to rival like some of the best of them with the stuff that he did. And Hot and Spicy Pizza Girls is a fun one. He used one of the most famous actors ever to come out of the adult industry, which John Holmes is in this one. Paul Thomas is in it as well, another great actor when it comes to this type of stuff. Just some different stuff. Next up is one by Bud Lee, and it's Ribble Tales of Canterbury. That's like kind of like a Chaucer one. Again, it's a period one. Hypatia Lee was probably the most famous actress in this. There's a lot of famous people in that one. Next up is again by Bob Chin. Anything by Bob Chin, I usually like. This is more of like kind of a humorous, a darkly humorous one, as they say right here. I'm cribbing right from here now. It's a Nazi exploitation type thing. John Holmes again in this one here, and Sika, who actually they did a documentary, and not an adult. I don't think it was an adult documentary actually, called "Desperately Seeking Sika," which is actually a guy that was actually trying to figure out what happened to her, and actually it was a nice story. It ended well. And Dixie Ray, Hollywood Star, with Anthony Spinelli, who's known for making actually really good films, films that could cross over between adult and regular films. Dixie Ray, Hollywood Star is, I think the other name for it. There's an R-rated version of it. It's called Murder. Oh, God, it's something like it's called Murder Baby or something like that. It stars Juliet Anderson, Veronica Hart. I think Cameron Mitchell's in this one. I know John Leslie is. And again, it's a really good film. Adult or not adult, it's a really, really good film. I would definitely say, is it one to grab? Yeah, if you don't mind the adult aspects of the films. I wish they would have put their kind of their softcore, their R-rated versions on there as well, because some of these really do play. Dixie, Hollywood Star, plays extremely well as a kind of film noir type mystery type of film. That being said, I really, really enjoyed it. Next up is the second volume. Again, you're going to see it look very similar to the first one, except this one here is horror and exploitation. So 5 more films on here as well. So first off, I'm going to start off with one that's very familiar to a lot of you guys out there, to a lot of your, if you like exploitation films and action films and stuff like that, Sergio Santiago is probably a guy that you're familiar with, and he did this one here called The Mothers. The Mothers. So it's a women in prison film. It's got Jane Kennedy in it, Trina Parks. There's pirates. There's pirates in this film. It's fun. It's a really fun film. Flesh and Bullets. Remember one of the ones I mentioned there, and that they had a DVD of. Well, this is the Blu-ray edition of Flesh and Bullets is here, and what a cool cast. I mean, so we got Aldo Ray, Robert Zadar's in this, Mei Lin, who actually was an adult actress, that actually did some regular stuff as well, Yvonne DiCarlo, because this is not an adult film in any stretch of the imagination. Confusing film from a confusing filmographer. Carlos Tobolini's bizarre 80s updating of Strangers on a Train. Yvonne DiCarlo, Cesar Romero's in this film, acting alongside Mei Lin, which is really kind of crazy. Basically, there's these, I kind of remember this one, there's these 2 guys, and they both are like kind of drowning. Their alimony's killing both of them. And they're kind of like, you know, maybe we should kill each other's wives and get out from under this. And check it out. It's definitely worth checking out. Next up is The Hang Up. John Hayes' masterpiece of misery follows the sad and lonely life of a vice cop who begins an illicit affair with a beautiful prostitute, only to discover that she's underage, sending him into a downward spiral of corruption and violence. This was done in 1970. I don't really remember this one. Wim Connors is in this, Sharon Matt. I'm actually very interested in checking this one out because I don't know if I've seen it. Next up is Dungeon of Harrow, or Dungeon of Horror. I've seen it under both names. Now, this one is made in Texas, a 60mm film. It's a tribute to early 60s Gothic horror films. That's the best way that they can put it there. Done in 1962, so yeah, I guess. A shipwrecked sailor finds himself trapped in a castle populated by bloodthirsty nobility. So probably one of the lesser of the films that's on this set, but Definitely worth checking out. Kind of a fun little film. Next up is one that's definitely not going to be for everybody, and that is Murder on the Emerald Seas. Now, Murder on the Emerald Seas is a film by Alan Ormsby. If you recognize that name, that's because Alan Ormsby did he did a lot of writing, and he did some acting. If you know Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, films like probably A Death Dream with Bob Clark. Alan Ormsby actually penned a kid's like a makeup book on basically making yourself up look like Universal Monsters and talking about Universal Monsters as well. I had that when I was a kid. Alan Ormsby is actually pretty good, famous for that, and he's probably also famous as being the guy that got fired as the director on the movie Popcorn, and then it was directed by somebody else. So you've got the Blu-ray Popcorn. Not sure if I don't have the Blu-ray Popcorn yet. I really need it. My birthday's coming up, guys. So no, in all seriousness, I do have to pick up Popcorn down the road. It's a favorite of mine. I like Joe Sholin a lot, actually, and it's been a long time since I've seen it. It's probably VHS days since I've seen Popcorn. But he was the original director for Popcorn. He got let go from that film. Somebody else came and directed it. So what is Murder on the Emerald Seas? It should be a murder mystery, but it's a comedy. And does it work? Debatable. Peter Conrad, Robert Peralt. Murder mystery focused on a series of mysterious deaths surrounding a beauty pageant, promoting the lead detective to go undercover to investigate in drag. And again, not an adult film, just really kind of a different film. So apparently there's these films are scanned and restored in 2K from various film elements. There's a brand new scan and restoration of Dungeon of Harrow. Again, these are limited to 250 to 2,500, one per person. So you can get them one each for $34.99 American. You can actually go on to Amazon CA right now, and you can order, if you're not interested in the sale, but you really want to get these are limited editions. They do have a limited amount actually on Amazon CA for $34.99 Canadian. However, you can go onto the website here, and what I think is really cool is this. You can buy both of these here, and together. You can get both volumes of it, and that's for $59.99. So definitely worth it. That's what I did. I went and I got both volumes of the set. I really wanted it. I was hemming and hawing. Should I get more of the features that I wanted from the spring sale? I had my cart filled with the spring sale, and on one side, and I had my Amazon cart filled up with the double feature with the 5-packs. And he's like, why don't you get the 5-packs from Vinegar Syndrome and then fill up the rest with the spring sale. So here's the thing with the spring sale itself, or the regular thing, you need like $100 if you're in Canada, or $50 if you're in the United States to get free shipping. Now, so that you don't get screwed over, like say if you wanted to buy those two sets and you bought like another $50 in the spring sale, it's almost seen as two orders. So you'd get charged, and I think the shipping for Vinegar Syndrome is $10, which isn't bad at all, actually. It's really, really good compared to a lot of the other places. But you don't have to do that. All you have to do is if you're getting like some new stuff and you're getting some of the spring sale stuff, that equals out to, if you're in Canada, for instance, that equals out to $100. You just say, order included with my, order included with my spring sale, and it takes off the shipping. So it's an option down there. You'll see it. It's the final option. Definitely worth doing. It saves you $10 on shipping anyway. Vinegar Syndrome is known for getting their stuff out quickly, getting it out fast. Now, that being said, if you ordered from the sale about a day or two ago when the sale started, just know that they will be starting to send their stuff out tomorrow. I say probably Tuesday morning, because their sale ends in Monday night, and Tuesday morning they're going to be sending out starting to send out their stuff. So depending on how popular the sale is, it'll depend on how much stuff has to go out there. But I gotta say, for most all the stuff I've seen come out for Vinegar Syndrome, it's come out fairly fast. I've never had a problem with getting stuff from Vinegar Syndrome. I've never had a problem getting stuff from them fast. My dad's, whose birthday was recently, I got him actually to the Devil a Daughter, the UK edition of that. He went with some of his birthday money, and he ordered the first one, the Golden Age Erotica, Volume 1, because I think he had some of the other ones on DVD. So he didn't upgrade those, but he didn't have any of the erotic ones. So he went and he ordered that, and he had his order within a week. And we are here in Canada, and he's farther away than I am. Actually, he's in Newfoundland, and I'm here in Nova Scotia. And to put it to you in a way, Newfoundland's an island, so any order that comes to my dad has to come here first, and then it has to go on a ferry, a boat across the ocean. Like you guys don't know what ferry is, to go onto a truck to go to Newfoundland, and he had it in a week. So you can't beat that. I mean, Amazon gets 3-day shipping, so that's just fantastic. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get mine within a week for the sale, but I'm hoping to get it hoping it's not a long time waiting for it. I've never had an issue with them before, so fingers crossed I'm not gonna have an issue with them this time either. I'm very excited about getting these titles here. I could have picked up more like the regular titles, but I really wanted to get those 2 limited edition sets. Now, they don't have any features on them, but they are new 2K scans of movies that were only on DVD. Murder in the Emerald Seas, even if that's not your favorite one, there's only 500 copies on DVD of that done. That's out of print, that's gone, bam, that's out of here. A couple of these here were just put on like driving classics, on double features, in the driving collections type of thing. And they're now got their own Blu-ray release. Are they going to be like a Blu-ray in like some of the most pristine Blu-rays or 4Ks or something like that? You can't expect that from some of the lower budget stuff, but it's still going to be the best version of these films that you are going to be able to get, and that is a fantastic thing. So there you go, guys. That is the Vinegar Syndrome Spring Sale. Definitely check it out. Another sale you guys should know about, the Kino is having their sale right now. I didn't get anything from that summer, and so I didn't really go into it. But there is a Kino sale going on right now as well. If you're in Australia, or if you ever order from JB Hi-Fi, they have a buy 2 get 1 free sale. A lot of their Hammer stuff, and some of the Umbrella stuff, like the cinema cult, whatever it's called, type stuff, that is included in that sale. Over on Amazon UK, there's a little sale there now where it's like buy 2 for £25, and there's a couple indicators in there, including Happy Birthday to Me and Last Detail. There's a bunch of Arrow in there, including that the recent Ringo double feature, and there's a bunch of Masters of Cinema, Eureka type stuff in there as well. So I just thought I'd let you guys know about those sales that are going on now. At the same time, for me, all those sales tempted me, but Vinegar Syndrome, as always, they suck me in. They take my money because I really love their stuff. I really do. I really enjoy the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I find they're really fun to watch. And there's a couple of people that I looked at their... I wish I had it down here, because there's a couple of people that I looked at their stuff of. I think there was a Movie Mike, 80s film fan. I think it's 80s film fan. There's a couple guys that had a couple good Vinegar Syndrome videos that I really enjoyed. I watched some Celluloid Terror, and he had me sold on Psychic Killer. I really wanted that one really badly. Oh, God. You can't get everything. At a limited money amount, that's going to be way more limited, more than likely coming up. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you guys informed on stuff that's coming up, like some news coming up on my channel, and could be exciting. Could be an exciting time. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening. It's getting late here. My voice is going. My voice is going before I came downstairs. It seriously is 100% time for tea. So for me here in the movie library, to my wonderful little kitty Scaredy over there. Hope you guys had a great weekend. My better half's back home now, so more than likely you're going to see this video over the next day or two. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Aaron. I'm the Movie Prof. You've been joining me tonight again, once again in the movie library. Have a great night, and if you're getting something from the Vinegar Syndrome sale, or if you got something from it, or if you're waiting for the May sale, let me know in that comment section that I love so much down below. So, more comments, the bigger the C section is when I do my next video. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great evening.